Petris Robinson, a 55-year-old man living in North Carolina, worked hard to turn his community into a better place. He was known for going live on Facebook to expose many of his community's growing flaws. For the most part, he was a lifelong resident of Wingate, North Carolina, graduating there and residing ever since. However, when he noticed a significant increase in theft and violence begin to sweep across his neighborhood, he wanted to fight back in any way he could. Publicizing the community's struggles was his way of restoring the community to what he once knew and loved. It was his way of creating a better life for the parents, for the elderly, and for the children who called this neighborhood their home. Well, ironically, only reinforcing the purpose of his mission, would one day Robinson have his phone stolen by one of his own family members. Noticing an opportunity to expose a theft in his community, Robinson began to livestream his trip to the Wingate police station to report the stolen property. Reports even show that even in light of a frustrating event, Robinson still stayed positive and kept a lighthearted conversation with the police officers. Even Police Chief Donnie Gay joked around and mentioned to the livestream, "Bring his phone back so he can get on with his way today." Robinson was staying positive and true to his mission, even in the face of family betrayal. However, shortly after he left the police station, would the purpose of his efforts be ultimately displayed, exposing the true evil lurking in his community and the violence that Robinson sought to stop.
They done move from here. Go to Atlanta. Charlotte ain't far enough. Try to get your damn ass kicked. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie.
A man in what appears to be a black hood began to pursue Robinson. And not even a second after this image would 4 gunshots be heard. And just as his signature selfie stick fell to the ground, so would Robinson.
Police in North Carolina are looking for a suspect they say shot and killed a man who was on Facebook Live.
Investigators say this happened in Wingate, southeast of Charlotte, yesterday morning.
Petris Robinson died by the same hand he sought to destroy. The shooting happened just around the corner from a police station. So if this doesn't expose a community in severe turmoil, then I don't know what does. The shooting also occurred along the grounds of Wingate University, meaning that if it wasn't Robinson, it could have been a young student walking to class or even a family touring the college. Only a day later would 65-year-old Douglas Colson turn himself in for the murder of Robinson. It hasn't been revealed what his motive was or why he chose to pursue Robinson, with many wondering if the attack was targeted or just a random act of violence. With Robinson successfully exposing the significant criminal activity in the neighborhood, a sporadic act of violence seems pretty reasonable. Although friends of his have theorized that maybe his exposure of illegal activity made some people upset, claiming if people don't like it and they get angry, at some point in time, it'll start and something will happen. I don't know if this was the reason for this tragedy to happen, but it happened. The post was initially removed by Facebook, however was later allowed after requests from those close to him, as he would have likely wanted his final moments to be used as the ultimate exposure in his quest for neighborhood peace. Before we jump into our next story, let's take a quick look at a streamer named Ginny TTY, who, while alone with no one around, got approached by a stranger who was very insistent he take her to her next destination.
3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to go to New York. Do you want to ride?
It's
Save
okay.
money.
It's okay. It comes
Don't
in
take the Uber. They like crazy, you know? They like talk to you and shit. Like you want like a normal person. I park right over there.
Yeah, it's okay. The Uber comes in 3 minutes. Thanks for the offer, though.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
New York is like 5 minutes. I can just drive you there, drop you off.
Yeah.
Don't spend the money.
It's okay. I have a lot of money, so.
What?
I have a lot of money, so it's okay.
I'm offering you to ride.
It's okay.
In May of 2016, a 19-year-old French woman who went by Oceane would go live on a streaming platform called Periscope, an app designed to explore the world through someone else's eyes. Due to the app being rather obscure, there's very little known about the specific user. Although we know she had accumulated enough of an audience to have regular viewers and felt her platform was strong enough to reach her peers. However, one day, on May 10th, she would go live looking visibly disturbed. It was clear that this stream was far different from the rest. She would quickly begin to break down and explain how she was assaulted, both naming the individual and discussing her mental decline as a result. Some viewers were quick to jump to her aid, offering words of sympathy and encouragement. However, others berated her, making crude sexual comments and horrendous threats. Yet, she seemed numb to it all. She simply claimed, as said by her own words, she didn't go live to receive sympathy or hate, but went live because she wanted to send a message. Then, in a single request that instantly disturbed her audience, politely asked for all the underage viewers to please leave her live stream, as they didn't want to see what was going to happen next. Needless to say, her viewers were horrified. Those who recently started watching might think she was planning to kill her assailant. However, those who've been watching from the start knew exactly what she was planning. She'd been alluding to it during the entire live stream. Although many viewers didn't know Oceane personally, they were quick to call the police with any information they managed to gather in the short time of her being live. Many were desperate to get this woman the help she needed. As the clock began to tick, Oceane would grab her phone and leave her house. No one knew where she was going, but those confused would soon begin to piece together what was happening, and those completely oblivious would inevitably learn, as Oceane eventually flipped her camera, showing her feet standing by the end of a railway track, as the engine of a train began to ring in the distance. I don't think I need to explain what happened next. After the incident, Oceane's phone lay by the side of the railway, undamaged. And as time passed by, in an accidental, unnerving discovery, her camera eventually moved, revealing a first responder to the scene as he picked up the cell phone and ended the live stream. Whether for better or worse, the documentation on this case is limited. There's multiple articles referencing the case to support the potential dangers of social media and live streaming, although few articles offer information pertaining to the actual victim. Again, on account of the trolls who harassed her during her stream, perhaps this was for the better. I did find an article that summarized some of the statements made by Oceane during her final minutes, revealing her mental decline as something that's been long building. Initially starting after abuse from her ex, she decided to seek happiness by working at a retirement home and helping others. Although this soon proved meaningless, as she stated, "I've gotten to the stage where nothing can make me happy anymore." She also mentioned the impact that this profession had on her perception of life, with an impactful statement reading, "I've seen people die. Frankly, that's not what shocks you. A woman came into the retirement home where I worked and she lasted just 2 weeks. She arrived and she was fine. I have no idea what they gave her, the nurses shot her full of medication, but by the end, you couldn't understand what she said. She was mostly dribbling. I remember she said to me, 'I'm going to die, I'm going to die,' so I told her, 'Don't worry, everything will be okay. I'm here for you. If you want, I'll come and see you in your room.' But the next day, I turned up at 8 a.m. and she was dead. And what annoyed me the most was they left her the entire day in the room, and you had these trainees, these old girls who were like, 'Let's go see her, let's go see her.' And I said, the dead aren't a spectacle for your entertainment. Then the guy turned up from the morgue and I helped carry her out." Perhaps this was part of the message she wanted to send, showing the flaws of humanity as they continuously battered her down, but still watching in her darkest moments. the story of Oceane is tragic, and I truly wish that she found the peace she desperately sought. I hope, if anything, that her life will serve as a pillar to guide humanity to be better people, and serve as a means to support mental health and the dangers associated with social media. Now, to tie us into our next story, let's see what happens when a group of streamers find their way into private property, and the threats get pretty serious.
He doesn't own a dock.
But how would we know that?
His VRBO should say no lake access.
It doesn't say. He gave us boats. So obviously we're going to use the lake. We didn't know. So you want us to leave the kayaks there?
I don't give a shit about the kayaks. You get off my property.
I don't think there's
Better
any.
leave.
This is ridiculous. Come on, you need to like chill out. It was an accident. We're leaving
It's
immediately.
private property in Texas. I could shoot you. You're on my property.
He's like threatening to kill
That's
us
a
because
little
it's, like,
extreme.
a mistake. Like it's like actually like.
AngelWalks was a Twitch streamer who primarily played Call of Duty. His audience wasn't particularly large, but that didn't matter. He enjoyed the games he played and the community he shared them with. He enjoyed it so much that he would stream very often, sometimes for 8 hours a day, which means that some of his best moments were bound to be captured live. However, unfortunately, this also included some of his worst. On July 7th of 2020, while Angel was streaming Call of Duty, would he accidentally capture the screams of his frantic mother pounding on his door. Audio I'm opting to remove out of respect for the family, as just in the next room over, would Angel's sisters discover that his brother had died. For about 45 seconds, Angel's bedroom door was left open, meaning the haunting screams and reaction from the family were easily heard on stream. He then quickly ran back to alert his worried friends, saying, "My brother just died," and then leaving for some time, closing the door with the stream accidentally still on, leaving the audience in horror of what just happened. The exact reason for his death is unknown, although a lot of people have come to speculate it was an overdose. But frankly, I don't think the exact reason matters. The unfortunate reality is that anything that happens on the internet is likely going to stay on the internet. And as a result, the clip soon went viral, causing some of the most attraction to his platforms for the absolute worst reasons.
And throughout my entire stream, I have people that come into my stream and ask what happened. And I don't know where you guys were raised or how you guys were raised, but that's not something you ask.
For what it's worth, a GoFundMe page was created to cover the expensive funeral costs, to which the donation goal was surpassed. However, for the years that followed, Angel would continuously get reminded of his brother's passing by viewers who stumbled across the viral live stream.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about my brother every day. But I don't like talking about it. So if anyone that's like looking for my stream, if you guys find my stream, don't come in like, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." I get it, I understand it.
From what it seems, Angel no longer streams on Twitch. However, does still remain present on YouTube, where he vlogs his trips and vacations, so it's comforting to see that it seems like he's holding up well. I truly hope he's doing okay, and my heart goes out to the family. Rest in peace to his brother, Roberto Perez. What you're about to see is a cyclist streaming what was mere inches away from being a horrific accident.
Vittu meinas jäädä autolle. Meinas jäädä vitusti autolle. Ei mennyt nilkka.
Luckily, nobody was hurt. Luke Monday, a 26-year-old Australian Fortnite streamer, led what many would refer to as a successful life. He had a girlfriend, children with another child on the way, and even had a prosperous career to support his lifestyle. He had a job as a network engineer at Telstra, one of the largest telecommunication companies in Australia, that allowed him a flexible schedule to spend time with his wife and children. On top of all of this, he also led a successful Twitch channel named MrDeadMoth, where he streamed Fortnite to, at times, an audience of thousands. As proof of his consistent hard work and commitment, he was rewarded generously. However, in only a matter of a few minutes, nearly everything would be lost when he captured something truly disturbing on one of his live streams.
Yes, I'll be, yes, okay, I'll be out soon. Just wait! Jesus Christ, I'll be out soon, stop! Stop! I'll be out soon. Grace, stop. I'm serious. Bonnie just fell over. Can you stop, please? I'll be out soon. Grace, just stop. Okay, please. I'll be out soon. I'm gonna start typing. I'll be out soon. I will be out soon. Grace, I'll be out soon. Fuck off, honestly. I'll be out soon. Stop. I'll start throwing shit back at you. See how you like it. I'll be out soon. I will.
Directly after this would Monday leave the view of the camera and violently slap his pregnant wife. I'm not going to play this audio as I'd rather not gain from the direct sounds of domestic abuse, but the noise was loud and distinct. The clip is all over social media if you're truly curious. I don't think Monday realized how loud the slap was and how clearly his microphone picked it up. I figure he knew he was off screen and just thought that he was free from prosecution on any physical altercation since, it couldn't have been seen. However, he would soon sit back down and things would quickly get worse.
You make your point. I'll make my point. I don't care. Sick of it. I'll be out soon. I'm sick of it. Hey, I will be out soon. Seriously, it's not necessary.
You can say sorry if you really need
I will say sorry, but I'll come out and say sorry. I will say sorry.
You say sorry now.
And right then, just as before, he would jump off screen, and you could hear another violent attack. This one seeming much louder, as if it was a full-blown punch. You can then hear the woman screaming for several minutes. The entire scene is incredibly disturbing. For the fact that it was all broadcasted on a child-marketed game, the incredibly troubling exposure of domestic abuse, and for me, worst of all, the young child crying in the background. After the second attack, you can even hear the child screaming, "Daddy, stop," multiple times.
It's being linked to a rise in violent behaviour. The latest alleged incident live streamed to thousands.
Luke Monday's domestic violence came to the attention of thousands thanks to his obsession with playing the violent online game Fortnite. Today, the Oran Park father pleaded guilty to slapping his pregnant partner for interrupting his live stream.
After this, viewers of the stream would report Monday, and he would soon be arrested on a charge of common assault against his pregnant girlfriend. As the court proceedings commenced, an AVO, an apprehended violence order, was placed on Monday, restricting him from being within 100 feet of his girlfriend. However, shortly after this order expired, would the two inevitably get back together? A common tragedy in many domestic violence cases. However, this part gets a little interesting, so stay tuned. He was suspended from his job and banned from Twitch, forced to wait for the legal proceedings to be over. He could have potentially been charged with 2 years in prison, however, due to parties' cooperation and legal counsel, Monday got off with only being monitored by community corrections for 14 months. In a shocking twist though, it was then revealed that Monday's girlfriend wasn't as innocent as it might appear. Pictures surfaced from Monday showing past photos of bruises inflicted by his girlfriend. Now, there's of course thought that these could all be fake. However, if we rewatch the stream that prosecuted Monday, it's not unfair to say she was acting a little rash as well.
Hey, I'll be out soon. Just wait! Jesus Christ, I'll be out soon, stop! Fuck off, honestly. I'll be out soon, stop! I'll start throwing shit back at you, see how you like it.
Before Monday made contact with her, it did sound like she was knocking over equipment, banging objects, and even throwing things at Monday. As a result, an investigation was then conducted after Monday accused his girlfriend of throwing a kettle at his head, in which she then received 2 counts of common assault. I'm not saying this even comes close to excusing violence towards a pregnant woman, but, maybe let's just all keep our hands to ourselves, everybody. In the end, regardless of relationship issues, those I feel most sorry for are the children. They don't deserve to be in an environment where parents are throwing punches at each other or throwing pots at heads. The sounds of them crying in the live stream are incredibly disturbing, and for the sake of the children, I hope they can escape the situation. By the looks of a Bumble profile that had leaked, which oddly features a photo from his domestic abuse trial, I don't know if that's the best move, it appears that Monday and his girlfriend have separated, which I think we can all agree is probably for the better.